What's going on, guys? It's your man House Buying Brian, six-figure earner through creative part-time real estate investing. And in this video, I'm gonna show you how I think owning rental properties blows a 401k out the water when it comes to trying to retire and reach financial freedom. So retirement, what do I mean? The ability to live off your own resources. So basically, all bills paid, your lifestyle is financed, and you don't have to go to work. Oh, but wait. Before we get started, I'm not telling you don't invest in your 401k. If you have a W-2 job and you're a W-2 employee, you should invest in your company's 401k plan for a couple of reasons. One is that most employers usually do some type of match, so you might be leaving money on the table. The second thing is it decreases your tax liability because the money goes in pre-taxed. So if you don't invest in it, you're gonna be paying more taxes. So if you have a job and you have a 401k plan, you should invest in it. But I wouldn't bank on your 401k for your retirement. For your retirement, rental real estate. Let's get to it. Okay, so what's my beef with the 401k? First of all, just the structure and the plan and how it's set up. Okay, a 401k is usually set up where you save over a long period of time and you try to live off the interest of the money that you've saved, and then you start to calculate how long you'll live, and so you can start taking principal if you want to. So the first thing, it's slow. To save a considerable amount of money that you can live on the interest is usually going to take you about 30 to 40 years. Okay, that's a long time. All right, and that's why most of the time the average American doesn't even save enough in their 401k plan. So that's why people start to talk about, oh, my Social Security check, because they need to add that. Or do I have a company pension plan, because they need to add that. And they need to add what they've saved and all these other sources of income so they have enough that they can live. All right. So when you start to look at all that, it just seems like it's flawed if you need all these additional sources just to make ends meet. So my beef, first of all, is very slow. Second, you sacrifice now for maybe later. What do I mean by that? Sacrifice meaning to amass a nice amount in your 401k. Most people sacrifice now. They end up putting a lot more money into it, like 10%, 15%, 20%. And when you start to get in the 20% and then you're putting some in a Roth IRA or untaxed IRA, basically almost a large portion of your check is being put aside. And so you're just really trying to live real frugal right now. You're sacrificing a lot of the luxuries and a lot of nice things you want out of life, you know, in potential that in the future when you retire, you may be able to get those things. Not to make this video morbid, but I see a lot of people that they don't see the 59 and a half. You know, they don't see the retirement. They don't see this so-called pot at the end of the rainbow. So you sacrifice good times now and live penny pinch your way to maybe being able to get this nice life later. I ain't feeling it, all right? YOLO. Not really. But another thing, no benefit now. Your 401k doesn't pay your bills. If you want to take your significant other to a nice restaurant, or you want to go to some comedy show, or you want to go to a Jay-Z concert, guess what? Your 401k ain't going to pay for it, all right? Or if you want to go on a vacation, hopefully you're not taking out of your 401k, because we're going to get on this later. But you don't benefit from it now. It's just a horizon at the end of the rainbow thing that you may be able to, in most cases, people do reach retirement and they can see. So it doesn't benefit you right now at all. It's like you took your money away, you hide it, and you don't see it until you're 59 and a half. I ain't feeling it. Another one is your income goes down. It's normally 90% of people that invest in their 401k, when they retire, they're making a fraction of what they were making when they're working. That makes no sense to me. If you've been working for 30 years, your income should be going up the whole time, okay? You're working longer. You're getting more experience. Your income should be going up. It shouldn't be, oh, you make $100,000 now, but in retirement, you only make $80,000. But that's what normally happens because you're earning paychecks while you're working, but when you retire, you're trying to live off interest. Flawed plan. Another, fees. if you do want to use your 401k money to buy anything, guess what? There's fees and fees and fees, okay? There's early withdrawal fees. As soon as you take it out, you're gonna be taxed immediately for that tax year. That's another thing. And another thing, taxes. This is working income. Ordinary W-2 income is the highest taxed income. Meaning that you amass all of this money, but guess what? When you take it out in retirement, it's taxed because it goes in pre-tax, okay? And no control. So if you have this money in your 401k and there's a stock market crash, guess what happens to your money? Okay? You just went pew. Now it doesn't mean that you lose your money, because you don't lose it until you actually sell the stock. But the value has significantly decreased. Okay? If you're and this is going to affect, you know, kind of your lifestyle temporarily if you're in retirement, or it might cause you not to retire at a certain time if you know, you're in an economic crash. All right, so let's break down the numbers and look at how a 401k usually works. Okay, so I'm not going to get too detailed, but in general, how a 401k works is over the course of your working career, money goes in pre-taxed and it accumulates in a 401k, and you buy some type of stocks or some type of shares, and you get the, what they call it, the compound interest, which is a real thing, but it's not what they hype it up to be. It's better in, you know, compound interest working in other places, but I digress. All right, let's say you save $1 million in a 401k. Make sure I get enough zeros. Is that enough zeros? That's not enough zeros. That is enough zeros. Okay. Boom. And boom. Alright. So you got 1 million in your 401k. Alright. Normally what happens is during your working career, it might be in something more aggressive. But when you retire, you put it in something more safe. So it's usually going to get returns around about 5 to 8%. 8% if you're really doing good. But let's take something like 5%. You have $1 million in your 401k, and you're getting a 5% return. We're gonna do this together. $1 million, a 5% return. You do that by multiplying times 0.05. That's $50,000, okay? So that's 50K, $50,000 annually, all right? So take $50,000 divided by 12, and first, another thing, that $50,000 hasn't been taxed. So that's taxed as if you were still working, all right? So maybe, you know, you take it up to 8%, you're gonna be at 80,000. And then that's when they start calculating, oh, but I also have my Social Security. So you add that, you know, what's 50,000 on a monthly basis? I think that's, let's see, 50,000 divided by 12, 4166. So 4166 a month. Okay, mind you, this income has not been taxed yet. All right, and of course, if it's 88%, you're getting on your million that you've saved. It's gonna be 80,000. Break that down. But of course, this money has not been taxed yet. And then you add your Social Security and, you know, any other, you know, things you have. Maybe you have a pension or something like that. So first of all, most people don't get $1 million in a 401k, but yeah, you get really great jobs. Some people get, you know, 2 million, you know, 1.7 up to 2 million. Of course, that affect that. But we're talking about the general population. They usually don't see these type of numbers. And most people don't see things like 8%. All right. So that's my beef with the 401k. So let's try to get like $100,000 real quick. Okay. Let's say $100,000. We're gonna do $1 million. All right, $1 million. 10% returns. Is 100,000, which 83.3 a month. I probably messed that up. I really just did that all off the top of my head. It's some easy numbers though. Let's see. If you got $1 million, your 401k, and you're getting 10%, let's see, $1 million times 0.1 is 100,000. Yeah, divided by 12. 83.3. Okay. So you got to get $1 million in your 401k, return at 10% interest just to bank $100,000 without going to work. Good luck. Okay. Let's talk about rental properties now. How would you make this happen? So if you guys were watching my IG story the other day, I just landed a deal, a rental property for $25,000. Now in my market, that property would rent for $900 a month. But let's talk about why I like rental property first of all. First of all, it pays now and later. If you have a rental property, it's going to pay you every single month. You can use that money to finance your lifestyle. If you want to go on trips, if you want to, pay for a car note, if you want to pay for a mortgage, if you want to, buy yourself things, if you're hungry, it pays now, but it also pays later. So while it's paying you now, once it's free and clear, you still have that property that's worth the value of it. And if you want to liquidate it, you can always sell the house. But I wouldn't recommend doing that. Don't kill your golden goose. Keep the eggs coming, all right? So also, your income increases. Rather than you making a certain amount of money, because I told you, most people are not going to get anything near this nor save this, okay? So rather you making money, a certain amount of money when you're working and your income drops, rental properties, each property that you get, you're making more money. So as you get older and time goes on, you're making more money. Your income increases like it should. Like that makes more sense. Also, it appreciates. So your income is increasing in a way. Not dependent on life. Something that's really flawed about the 401k that's weird is that they start calculating how long you gotta live. Why? Because now they're thinking, okay, if this isn't enough, this return and this number, that salary isn't enough, then they start trying to see how much you can spend off your principal, until your money is, and they have lump sum versus, annuity and stuff like that. But that's why that's even a factor. How long you have to live. It shouldn't be a factor. If you have rental properties and they're producing cash flow, you can live to be 300 as long as the property's still in good condition. How long you live does not matter for your retirement. That should be a red flag. All right. Another thing is fast. How fast? It depends, but it's a lot faster than this. Let me break it down. If any of you guys pay attention to me on my IG stories, which I give a ton of free information away. You guys see, like the other day I came across a property where the seller accepted and she's gonna accept $25,000. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath. It's almost move-in ready. Doesn't need a lot of work, but that house, $25,000, will rent for $900 a month in my market. So check this out. 25K. Okay, home. I'm not going to calculate returns. If you guys looked at my previous video when I did rent versus rent to own, I talked about returns. So spend 25K and that equaled. I'm making this really basic. The thing why a lot of people don't invest, because most investors, they get too technical and make it really hard. I don't want to use all the terms right now. I want to make it easy. Spend $25,000. We're not even calculating returns. And it's going to bring you $900 a month in. Okay. All right. So for the real estate pricks, they could, break it down. I broke it down in another video. All right. So $25,900. If you were to take $500,000, that's half of that. If you was to take $500,000, that's an ugly zero. $500,000, and we're not going to put 25. We're going to put 30,000, because even though this property doesn't need $5,000 worth of work, we're going to say all of them need about $5,000 worth of work. So 500,000 divided by $30,000. You can buy 16.6 properties. I don't know what a half of a property is, so we're going to round it down to 15. If you have 15 houses that bring in $900 a month, So 15 houses times $900 a month. That equals $13,500 a month. Now, first of all, did you not blow this out of the water with half the amount of money and it went further? And of course I understand this depends on your market. Down south this is doable. Markets like Detroit and stuff, it's doable too. It just depends on your market. But down south you can find this, okay? So of course this is going to be affected by, you know, the deals. And if you get really dig deep into it, we can crunch numbers and returns. But 15 times 900 is 13,500. Not only is it 13,500, it's 13,500 and it's not taxed the same as this. It's not taxed as high as this. This is taxed at a higher rate than this. This you have tax credits. Not only do you have tax credits, you can use the rental properties to offset your working income. Did you know that? Actually, next time you file your taxes, ask them about that. Okay? So this is one reason why this just blows it out the water. All right? You got tax benefits. You got appreciation. You can do a lot more with a lot less. And the biggest thing, your income is going up. You can use this money now and you can use it later. So this gets it when it comes to thinking about financial freedom and retirement. In other words, the ability to live off of your own resources. Choose real estate. So folks, I hope you got something for that. You know, don't shoot the messenger. I've been reading too much Robert Kiyosaki, too much Rich Dad Poor Dad, but you know, I noticed that not only him, but a lot of the wealthy think the same way, and the middle class really holds on tight to a 401k. And sometimes a lot of us, we weren't even given that knowledge or the awareness that there is a better way. And there is a better way, and that's that way. It's a lot quicker. It's a lot more for sure. And another thing, economic crashes. So you're like, oh, the real estate market crashed. The real estate market hardly ever affects rental rates or rental income. What's affected usually when the housing market crashes is the home values. Okay, and if you're in the middle of selling a home or flipping a home, that might you know, hit you, or the equity in your home might drop. But as far as rental rates, they tend to stay the same. They're usually not affected. Okay, so it's way different. I feel like it's way better. I feel like it's not even a competition. But if you like this video, like it, literally like it, smash the like button, subscribe, share it, comment, tell me what you think. If you're mad, you don't like it, cool, let me know, let's argue in the comments. No, not really, I'm not gonna argue with you. Real estate wins. Love you guys, see y'all later, peace, love, and real estate.